Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Odd Vlog. And really just wanted to fill you in on some news that's happened today, as the first official images of Captain Marvel have been released by Entertainment Weekly. I'm pretty sure that every MCU fan is really hungry for this film to come out. Really looking forward to it. After the events of Infinity War, we really want to see whether or not Captain Marvel is going to be the one who actually comes to the rescue and sort of saves the day and saves, presumably, everyone that didn't make it in the film and brings them back somehow. We don't know. There's a lot of excitement for the film, a lot of hype for it. It's going to be obviously the first female-led MCU movie, which is obviously a big step as far as the MCU is concerned. And allegedly, she's going to be the most powerful hero that the MCU has. How? We don't know yet. Nothing from the pictures really sort of suggests what her powers are going to be and what she's going to be capable of doing. But we are led to believe that she's going to be, in some way, bigger and badder and better than any hero that's come before, whatever powers those might be. So the pictures themselves are really cool, really adds to the excitement for me, because it finally gives us a chance to see not just what Captain Marvel's going to look like, but also some of the other characters as well, like Nick Fury, Ronan the Accuser coming back and things like that. The only person we've not seen in any of those pictures is Phil Coulson, who's supposed to be making a comeback for what I think is a bit of an overdue wait really for him to actually appear on the big screen again. Obviously he's been doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series, but I kind of miss him from being in the films. It's been a long time. Obviously he sort of died but didn't die in Avengers Assemble. So yeah, it'd be really good to see him back, and the film's obviously set in the 90s, so it's a bit of a step back in time. So I'm really interested to see what happens with this, with some new characters and some old ones as well. And the whole 90s thing I think is going to be really interesting too, and of course the time in Infinity War. So the first picture that we got was the sort of iconic blue, red and gold suit that she wears. It looks really cool. It doesn't look gimmicky, it doesn't look comic booky, it looks just awesome. Really brilliant. Very well done. It's a lot like, I suppose, the Captain America costumes in some ways, in that if they did it exactly how it looks in the comic books, it would just look kind of cheesy and a bit weird. But they make it work. They make it look believable, they make it look real, and they make it look modern. So really well done. I was very happy to see the way that worked out. We also get another glimpse of the sort of blue and green suit that she wears when she's part of something called Star Force, which looks really good actually. There's a picture that's in amongst those, and again I'm going to put all those pictures at the end of this video so that you can see them all. But Star Force looks really cool as a unit, as a fighting force. It looks brilliant. We don't know a lot about what they're going to be doing and what their involvement in the storyline is going to be yet, but it does feature one of the characters from Guardians of the Galaxy, the actor whose name I always get wrong, but I'll give it a go. I think it's Dimon Honsu or something along those lines, who in Guardians of the Galaxy was basically kind of Ronan's right-hand man. What looks a little bit strange about this is that he's part of the Star Force, so at some point with his character there's obviously a jump from being in the heroes team to going to the bad guys team. We don't really know. Interestingly, it's not just obviously an origin story for Captain Marvel, but also for his character too, and Ronan the Accuser. It's going to be really good, I think, to get that character back. Gives him a bit of backstory from obviously when we saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy as the main villain, the big bad, other than Thanos obviously. So it obviously has some origins for the Kree as well, and how their story progresses. So really keen to see what happens with his character, and hopefully we'll get an insight as to how he goes from being I suppose one of the leaders of the Kree, quite high up in their sort of pecking order, to going on and being I call it sort of standalone, almost terrorist if you like. So a very interesting character development going on there. So that I'm really looking forward to. We also got to see Jude Law's character, who's the commander of the Star Force, so Mar-Vell as he's known in the comics, and is basically a bit of a mentor character really for Captain Marvel. If I had to guess, I'd say that his character won't survive that film, so I think it's probably a bit of a one-off performance, presumably from Jude Law in this. I don't know that, but if I'm looking at the comics and sort of thinking how it's going to cross over to the big screen, I wouldn't expect him to be in anything other than this movie. So we'll see, that could change. And of course they might do it differently. They do tend to put a little bit of a twist on these. They don't follow the comic books like for like, so it could be a little bit different. One thing that is coming through from the comic books, and I suppose is the main sort of villain side of things for Captain Marvel, is the Skrulls, who will be making their first appearance in the MCU. Basically, they're, I suppose, an alien race that have got very powerful shape-shifting ability, so they can take on the appearance of pretty much anyone they want to. And we did see also in those images a picture of them looking human. It's interesting because it means if they wanted to, Marvel could go back to other films and actually, I suppose, make it that the characters you're used to seeing may actually not be the real characters, but may have actually been Skrulls in disguise taking over somebody. Let's say it could be Captain America at some point was kidnapped and copied by a Skrull, and actually the person we're seeing in the films isn't the real person. I don't know, it will be really interesting to see how that works. And of course there is the argument that people that died in Infinity War, maybe some of them weren't the real characters. I don't think that will happen, but there are lots of fan theories flying around about that sort of thing. So it'll be really interesting to see not just how that will fit into this film, whether or not they do tie it in with any other of the previous films, and also what's going to be happening going forward, because obviously after Avengers 4 we don't really have a phase of films happening. So I do wonder what these films are going to do going forward. Are they going to be building to a new storyline? Obviously everything led to Infinity War pretty much from the first few films, certainly from Avengers Assemble, and all the films before that led to Avengers Assemble. So there was always an end game with these films, something that they were working towards. So what's going to happen after Avengers 4, I don't know. It has been suggested that it won't be a phase, it'll just be a constant, continual sort of one film after another, which would be a very different direction for them to take. Personally, I'd rather there was a proper phase with an overlying kind of story arc, and Skrulls would be a great way to do it. But that's for the future. Looking back, obviously, yes, we've got this 90s setting going on for this film, which for me I think is brilliant because that was my childhood. So it'd be really cool to kind of see the music, the clothing, and just everything 90s. I really want to see that, so I'm definitely excited for that. And of course going back in time to seeing Nick Fury come back as well, but in a much younger form. They de-aged him digitally, and he doesn't have an eye patch in this film, so it'll be really interesting to see. From what I gather from the picture of him that's been revealed, he's not the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's probably quite a low-level officer, if anything. So his story will be brilliant, and sort of seeing his origin. So this is a film that really does so many different things with so many different characters, not just the beginning of Captain Marvel. So definitely excited for it. I'm going to go and put all of the pictures that have been released after I finish talking, so you'll see those in a moment. But let me know, put in the comments below whether or not you're excited for this film as I am. I've got loads of things going on Twitter about this. I've been sharing as much as I possibly can of all of the tweets and news that I've seen, and all of the pictures as well. So if you want to have a look at that, that'll be on my Disney Twitter channel, which is @planetary_pilot. So I'll leave you with the images, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.